It's still day 27, and I'm realizing that I can save my month here. So I'm pretty disappointed with the outcome right now, because if you look at it, I split this guy over 10 days ago now, and I never really had the chance to fill him back up. So this got overcrowded. This one we know is the crash and collapse and reset, so we're hoping for the best. This one did better than we ever imagined, and we're hoping it's filling out now. But the truth is that was only a couple hundred mils, so whatever. This is essentially the size of the starter culture. And then this guy is a big unknown, because we see life in there, but there's not enough life for what it is. So I don't know what to make of it. I still think we can save our month, though. We've got 3 days until the end of the month. Right now we're adding fresh water to the baby tank. So we're going to let that keep going. It is on an extremely slow drip, which is a good thing, but I'm going to loosen it a little bit more because we got to add water to all these other tanks. So I loosened that one a little. Hopefully it's moving. And then we can't really mess with these two, right? All we can do is just add a little bit more of the existing cloudy water solution. So fine. We're just going to hope and pray that this population and this population doubles in the next 3 days, which is technically possible because there's presumably rotifer babies in there that we can't see yet that can blossom up, and they should be able to breed again. So let's just pray for the best here, and we're going to top this guy up right now. Both of them. For you guys thinking about your at-home rotifer solutions, I'm really starting to see just how annoying it is spinning off spinning tops. I don't know what the solution is, but man, it is tedious with all the bubbler lines. Okay, so we're going to top this guy up. And for those of you who are unaware, this is cloudy water from the baby tank. We're assuming it's cloudy either because of a diatom bloom or a bacterial bloom. We don't know which. We don't have a microscope to see. But either way, the rotifer should be able to feed on the vast majority of bacteria, and the rotifer should be able to feed on the diatoms. So hopefully we got ourselves some nice diatom food and a convenient way to clear out the cloudiness in the tanks. We do have new salt water coming in, so I can get the water up to here by the end of today, and maybe even up to here by the end of the month, and hopefully we'll get another doubling in this tank. We'll see. And then for this guy, we're going to give it more water as well. And then what I would have really liked to do is actually split this into here. I was at one point splitting every 5 days on the main culture, and we fell off of that because we got distracted with other things. All the same, I should be still splitting this, knowing that this colony is probably denser than this one. So after I water this down a little bit more, I'm going to pour some of it into here, call it an additional inoculation boost for this guy, and we're going to add more salt water into here. Try and double the volumes of both these situations, and then, maybe we can give ourselves a C instead of a C- by the end of the month. Now, if we see any of these solutions or all of these solutions bloom in the next 3 days, or if we see the rotifers populate enough in this tank that it gets clear, well then, I'll be dancing and I'll be giving myself a B+. I've been adding fresh water to this one. The salinity got higher than I want it to be. It got up to 1.023. Hopefully we can water this guy down a little bit before we start using that water to feed back into these guys. I'm going to turn the flashlights on now so we can have a look. Primarily, we're interested to see if this guy and this guy are doing well. And if they are doing well, then that tells us that we can continue to feed the wastewater from what has turned into a cloudy water tank into here. And what would be great is if the rotifers bloomed in response to the cloudy water, ate away all the cloudy water, made it clear, pour the clear water back in there, pour cloudy water back in here, and just keep cycling them out. Eventually, the rotifer population in here would get big enough to clear this, but that hasn't happened yet, and I suspect the diatoms or bacteria are still outpacing the rotifers in their growth. There's plenty for them to eat, I think, because if you look at all the scum on the bottom, that's not living diatom. That's dead TW1800 solution, plus dust and whatever else has blown into my rainwater. This is the glass jar after being watered down. On day 27, it is watered down with aquarium wastewater. I would say that the population is down. I mean, it's pretty similar to where it was before, because yesterday we were looking at a much smaller solution and about the same density of rotifers. But I've had the light up here for a while, and I think most of them are up there, and there's really not that many in here. So we're going to say the population is slightly down, though not significantly. Or I guess we could say the population is the same the following day after adding aquarium wastewater, cloudy aquarium wastewater. Okay, let's move on to the coconut oil jar. Okay, so we can say this one is slightly improved from where we were, because things were looking really bad in here before. There was hardly anything. Now we can see that there are at least a few things in here, and that was only after a few moments with the light on it. So not a fabulous culture, but you know, we wouldn't expect that. We had almost nothing in, and it was watered down all the way down to there just, I believe, 2 days ago. And now we can see there's stuff moving in there. Not a lot, but some stuff moving in there. And considering that this has been watered down 90%, we can see something. And last time, I think I could only see like 3 or 4. This time I can see like 20. We're going to say we've seen an improvement in this coconut oil jar using aquarium wastewater. Okay, we're going to come back and look at the main culture after it's sat for a while, right before we add more water to it. So we'll let it sit with the light for a moment. Ooh, that's looking pretty good. Holy! What? I was supposed to wait, but look at this. This has got lots of cloudiness in it. Holy! New plan. This tank is getting watered down today, but I'm splitting it in half. So I'm pouring half of this into the Big Kahuna tank, which isn't doing all that well. That's the Big Kahuna, the big green guy in the back. I'm taking half of this, putting it in the Big Kahuna, and then the other half we're going to water down 75% with our new salt water. I can see a lot of free-floating particulate. I don't see much moving, but I see a lot of free-floating stuff. So fabulous performance by the Epsom salt container jar. So fabulous, in fact, that I'm going to pour most of it out into the Big Kahuna in the hopes of building a nice big vat full of rotifers. Then we're going to fill this guy back up as our primary jar. Things really are going well in this jar, so I took the lid off, which unfortunately stirred it up, in the hopes of zooming in and giving you a better view of the fabulous performance in this jar. So all that green stuff is just gook, essentially, or clumping TW1800 dead diatoms. There's just so much going on in here. Now, not all the white we see is rotifers, because some of it is just clumpy clump. But anything you see moving against the direction of the existing current, or essentially towards the light. So all the stuff on the top left of the screen there, you see a lot of them moving towards the light there. Middle top left. But yeah, anything, you can kind of see the current of the green clumps is moving away from the light, and all the white powder is moving towards the light. And that's how you know there's a lot of living rotifers in there. So isn't that just great? This might be our thickest, richest culture yet. After cutting it in half 10 days ago and then only watering it down, or only watering it down about 15%, we ended up with this super, super dense culture. Fabulous. What I wanted to do was water it down and then add it to the green tub. But now that I can see what an extraordinary asset this is, I think I have to use it right away. Because we've seen this before. Anytime the cultures get this dense, they crash. So watering it down halfway would be lovely, but these guys are probably already getting ready to crash. And if that's the case, let's use it now. So I'm going to pour a third of this into the baby tank that is full of cloudy water in the hopes that they'll eat all that cloudy water. I'm going to pour a third of it into the Big Kahuna green 16-liter rotifer culture, and the remainder will stay in here and get watered down slowly over the next few days to fill this jar all the way up to the top. And then so we'll essentially take this culture from 15% of this jar to 90% of this jar. So here's the Big Kahuna zoomed in after the light's been on it for a while. Yeah, you really get a sense for how cloudy this plastic container is, eh? When you shine the light on it like this. But anyhow, you can see that there's definitely white flakes at a higher density closer to the light. I don't really know what's in here. I really can't say. You know, we zoom all the way out. Yeah, I mean, there's white flakes, right? Wouldn't say a ton, but I'd say they're in there. Just wanted to show you a quick look at the rotifers inside the baby tank. You can see they're doing pretty well in here. Not crazy populations, though. Not like an overwhelming crazy population. But they're doing pretty well. So that's good.